Dude, it freaking fits. Whoever said minivans aren't cool. Hello, it's Wednesday morning here in Minnesota. I'm gonna run that clip of me doing the Lowside on Bobsled. I just wanted to note a couple things about this video where it's gonna be very different than when I did Bobsled on the Ripmo AF. With a single speed, you can't shift into a harder gear when you start going downhill, so you don't have that extra option to pedal and add more speed. You just kind of have to let gravity do its work. So you will notice it's a bit slower on the low side, and it's all about pumping and maintaining my momentum. I did pedal a few times, but it's really spinny, and I don't have like the power to really pick up a lot of speed on some of the more flat uphill parts of that trail. So I'll go ahead and run this clip, watch it, and I'll come back and talk about it after. So we're on the trail that leads us to the bobsled downhill. I'm on the low side because I just wanted to do bobsled on the low side to see how it was. But getting here, I made all the climbs, and as you can see, getting through these rocks just fine. So Lowside is plenty capable. Gearing is everything, and when I get to the top of the downhill part, I'll go check and remind myself what the gearing is, because I forgot. I want to say 3217, but it might be 3417. We'll just check real quick. Okay, here we are. What do I have? 32. So I have 3217 with 27.5 plus. So this is going to be somewhere between 27.5 and 29 diameter. So I would say 28 and a half. It's definitely not a full 29. Maybe equivalent to a 29 by 2.2. So when you work gearing, you always got to have the wheel size measurement in there, so you know about what it is. So a BMX bike, which is what I'm extremely familiar with, is 55 gear inches, and the way this is set up, it's closer to 52, I'm gonna say, gear inches. And so for single track, 52 is pretty comfortable. I can do most climbs. I actually was able to climb here to the top of Bobsled without an issue. Even there's one just real steep climb right at the beginning of the climb, near the top of that first section, and I made it up with this standing and grunting, but I did it. So that's a little bit about gearing. For single speed, if I was out west, I know when I've ridden Fruta, I had, with a 26-inch wheel, I had 3220 on the back. So I think in this case, I'd almost run 32 21 or 22 on the back if I was out in a place like Fruta where there's just lots of climbing. And even though you can make a climb, doesn't necessarily mean you can sustain doing that a lot on a longer ride. So you want to find that balance. If you're going to go on a longer ride, just blowing fuzzies away from my face. If you're going to go on a longer ride, consider endurance also, because sure, you could certainly power harder gears, but you're not going to last as long. So anyway, I'm yapping again. I tend to do that. I like to give information, tell people what I know, because I've been doing this a long time. This is the top of Bobsled. I'm gonna just shred it on the low side, because why not? I almost think my tire pressure is a little firm, but I was gonna maybe drop it down, but I think I'm just gonna leave it, because I did notice there's some loose stuff in here, and maybe a firmer tire will grip that better, I guess. I don't know. When you don't have suspension, tire pressure is a whole nother ball game. You have to figure out, you don't want them too soft, but you don't want them too hard either. All right. Let's go have some fun. Yeah. Yeah. Woo. Fun. Yes. Oh, that was it. Super sweet.
Oh yeah, our kids are trying it out.
Bobsled on the low side. Kind of that thing about gears is you don't have a tall gear, so you gotta coast. Pedal when and where you can, but going too fast, all I do is spin. All right, hope you enjoyed it. So there you have it, bobsled on the low side. As you can clearly see, I was having a good time. I just love the feeling of the low side. It's pure, and I keep talking about pure because without suspension and a single speed, you know, it's all about you and your connection with the bike. Bike isn't helping you out at all. Jumping, going over, you know, whatever rocks, roots, whatever's in the trail. You have to do the correct body motions, unweight, front wheel, all that stuff that you wouldn't really have to do on a full suspension bike. Although, if you do ride a fully rigid bike over that stuff and then you go back to riding a suspension bike, you'll notice you can still do those things and still help the bike out to get over things. And that just makes everything that much more smoother and makes you go that much faster. So riding styles where you just let the bike do everything and you just hit stuff because you're like, oh, the suspension is going to take care of it, isn't the fastest way to do things. You still should unweight the front wheel. You still should manual over things like that, and not just let the suspension do all the work. Riding a fully rigid bike teaches you that, teaches you those skills, because you don't really have a choice. If you just ram into stuff, you're in for a whole world of hurt. So I do recommend, you know, for riders who want to dial in their skills, riding a fully rigid bike, fully rigid single speed even, because then you learn how to stand and pedal and crank and really put in that effort. It's just a whole nother experience. I really do hope single speeding comes back in a big way. It was a huge thing starting in late 90s and throughout the 2000s, and it seems to kind of have died off. But I can easily see it coming back. I mean, unless you're in an extremely hilly area, it's completely doable. Definitely up here in the Midwest. But I've ridden, you know, out west on a single speed and other places, and just changed my gearing to match the terrain, and worked out just fine. So I really appreciate you watching and supporting my channel. Please like and subscribe. Subscriptions really help me. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 viewers so I can start doing live videos when I'm out and about with a mobile device. I can't do that until I get to 1,000. So yeah, keep on supporting. Thank you.